لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط أنعمت. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونستجيره من النار ونتوب إليه من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأصلي وأسلم على أشرف الخلق محمد ابن عبد الله وعلى آله وأصحابه وتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم القيامة. إخوة الإيمان، أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل، فإن تقواه سبحانه وتعالى من وصيته لنا وكذلك للأمم السابقة. قال تعالى: ولقد وصينا الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم وإياكم أن اتقوا الله فاتقوه ما استطعتم واتقوه تفلحوا. إخوة الإيمان، الله سبحانه وتعالى من علينا بهذا الدين الحنيف، لنكون أحسن أخلاقا خلقا، وذلك لأن معلمنا مدح بخلقه، فإذا طبقنا نحن وإياكم الدروس والآيات والحكم الواردة في الكتاب والسنة، فلا بد أن نكون من هؤلاء الأشخاص الفاضلة. قال تعالى في سورة القلم: وإنك لعلى خلق عظيم. Brothers and sisters in Islam, we say many thanks and praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always for bringing us into Al-Islam, for making us Muslims for giving us the hidayah to see the light, the nur of the deen, and for us to be practicing as much as we can this most clean, this most upright, this most straightforward, this most coherent, this most educative religion that is called Islam. Now this deen, when you put it on a race course with all other systems, with all other religion, this deen has a speed that is ultrasonic. It is not supersonic. It is more than that. And if there is any terminology to show the speed with which Islam goes and with which Islam has left all the system and all the religions behind, then we will use that term. But I think for now we know ultrasonic as more than supersonic. So we're going to use ultrasonic speed. Now why do I say this? We will know very shortly. So we are Muslims. Like one of my mentors would say, that anytime you do something good, if nobody praises you, you have to tap yourself at the back and say, I have done well. And so therefore, anytime we stand here, anytime the imams stand here to speak, they tell you how good Islam is. And by extension, how good you are. So that's why we always say, Alhamdulillah, all the praises. See, it does not have limits. Istighraq, jiz, alhamd, all the praises that we know, that we can offer, that we can pronounce in our limited time and in our limited speech that we have to praise Allah, we say all belongs to Allah. For what? Alladhi hadana li hadha din, for guiding us to this religion. وَمَا كُنَّا, you and I would not have been guided. لَوْلَا أَنْ هَدَانَ اللَّهِ, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not will for us to be Muslims. Because I know most of us are becoming materialistic. We don't see the benefit and the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us by making us only Muslims. Just by making us Muslims. Just by opening the doors of Islam for us to see and to believe, to pray and to do zakah and to do all these things as Muslims. It's a treasure. If you go to other gatherings, by now you wouldn't want to stay long because of the stench and the smell and the noise. But here we are, clean and tidy, smelling fresh and fine, and quiet, perfect quietness. To come and to thank Allah, to come and to glorify Allah, to come and to reflect on what we have done in the past, and to thank Allah and reflect on what we're going to do in the future, and to reform and to redress. To reform and to redress. We're not addressing, we're redressing. So we say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thank you very much. Today we want to speak about al-khuluq, husn al-khuluq, good behavior, good habit. And that's a spectrum, it's big, it's wide. But we're going to just touch one part of it. And why do we want to speak about this? Because we say in Surah Al-Qalam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised Madaha Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam bi khuluqi. He praised the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with his good behavior. He didn't praise him bi nufudhihi, with the influence that he had. La bi mali, he didn't praise him with the wealth that he had. La bi azwaj, he didn't praise him because of the women that he had. La bi jamali, he didn't praise the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam because he was a handsome and good looking man. But he praised him because of his good habit. And that habit, those good akhlaq, were the magnets that drew all the Muslims to Islam, that drew the kuffar to Islam. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself, he said many ahadith about good habit, good behavior, good character, good temperament. So let's see here some of them. سئل الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم أي أعمال أفضل. So they asked the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which of the goods are best? قال حسن الخلق. Then the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, good behavior. وسئل أيضا, and he was asked again, أي أعمال تدخل به الجنة. Which work or deeds that you do that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant you al-Jannah? There are lots of them. كثير، يوجد كثير من الأعمال. في هذا الحديث ذكر اثنين فقط. Allah, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam just mentioned only two in this hadith, and there are many more. He said what? Taqwa Allah, to fear Allah, wa husnul khuluq, and to have good manners, good behavior, good temperament. So we said to reflect and to redress. So if we're reflecting now whilst the khutbah is going on, you should be thinking, do you have taqwa enough? Or are your behaviors good enough? Okay, this is the problem that we have as Muslims. In our homes, in our communities, in our place of prayer, in our place of worship, in Hajj, in Umrah, where we're on the plane, where we are driving, our habits are not good. Now listen to this hadith. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أو قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن العبد لا يبلغ بحسن خلقه أعلى منازل الجنة يوم القيامة. The Muslim, the believer, because of his good behavior, because of his good character, who attain the highest levels of Al-Jannah Yawm Al-Qiyamah. وَإِن كَانَ ضَعِيفُ الْعِبَادَةِ. Even if his worship is weak, even if he worships weakly, even if he's weak in his worship, but because he has good behavior and good character and good temperament, because of that, even if his ibadah is weak and low, he may gain those levels in Al-Jannah. So we know why we're talking about this. So then in the next khutbah, inshallah, we speak specifically about what we want to speak about. التائب من الذنب كما لا ذنب له كما قال استغفروا ربكم إنه كان غفارا. Alhamdulillah wa kafa. I say many thanks and praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the first khutbah, we mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala manna alayna bil Islam. He gave us a favor. He gave us a blessing that is called Islam. Then we said that all the praise that we can muster and all the praise that we can say, even though we are limited in our time and in our speech to praise Allah, so all forms of praise are due to Allah for guiding us to Islam. And we said we want to speak about husnul khuluq, when we have good behavior, good habits, good character, good temperament. And why we want to speak about this? We said because in Surah Al-Qalam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam because of husnul khuluq, because of li husnul khuluq, because he had very good temperament, very magnificent character. And those characters, we said, kana jaziban aw jazaban. Those were the magnets that drew the non-believers, that drew the kuffar to al-Islam. And this is in Surah Al-Qalam. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praising Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. فوق السماوات السبع وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. Your character is great. It isn't money, it isn't wives, it is anything. Good character. So, we said, he himself, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, gave us lots of hadith, or a hadith that spoke about husnul khuluq. And the last one we spoke about in the last khutbah was that a slave, a servant of Allah, because of his good character, may be weak in his or her worship, in his or her acts of worship. But because they have good character, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them a'la manazil yawm al-qiyamah, the highest of the ranks yawm al-qiyamah. Right? So that's a recap of what we said. Now what we are saying here is the hadith of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam again. What we hear in the media about neglect of elderly people, what we hear in the media about neglect of children, what we hear about starvation, what we hear of people not caring for other people, what we hear about modern slavery, what we hear of bullying in the schools and in the offices, what we hear of people making other people overwork without paying them, without any iota of mercy, any iota of regard to their humanity. I told you before, or I said before, that Islam is ultrasonic. Now this is 1,441 years ago, and this man, respectable and honorable, was in the desert, and he said these words, and these words are as relevant then as they are even more so now. Listen to the hadith. It says, خَوَلَكُمْ إِخْوَانُكُمْ. Your servants, your employees, and people whom you have a little bit of over are your brothers. And by extension, they are your sisters. جَعَلَهُمُ اللَّهُ تَحْتَ أَيْدِيكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see now where Iman comes in. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying, you did not get yourself elevated above those people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevated you above them. Can be your wife, they can be your children, they can be people whom you earn more over, they can be people who you are supervising, they can be people whom you are managing, they can be people who are working under you in your organization. Ja'alahumullahu, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has placed them underneath you. Know your knowledge, know your degrees, know your eloquence. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he says in the hadith, فَمَنْ كَانَ أَخُوهُ تَحْتَ يَدِهِ, anyone who has a brother or a sister under his supervision, under his arm or his hand, then what do you do? فَلْيُطْعِمْهُ, you have to feed that person of what you eat. So there should be equality in your feeding. You are no better than this person as a human being. You only have a little bit of age and status given to you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for ila waqtin mahdud, for a particular period of time, for a limited period of time. So you have to feed this person from what you feed yourself. And you have to clothe this person from what you wear. So you shouldn't be wearing pompous clothes and this person is poor and poor and poor. Right? And then the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, وَلَا تُكَلِّفُوهُمْ مِنَ الْعَمَلِ مَا لَا يُطِيقُونَ, then do not overburden them with tasks and work that they cannot be able to perform. Some of you want your wife to cook 4 or 5 dishes and you have only one tummy, just to make life unbearable. And when they cannot cook all those, it's a problem in the house. And when even they cook them, you can't finish them. That is, you are overburdening this person because of your power or your status. And that is abuse. And that is 1,441 years ago. And now we are using the language of neglect, the language of abuse in our modern system, in our parliament, in our places of work. But the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said it a long time ago, do not overburden someone. Do not overburden anybody who is underneath you. Do not overburden them. You are a teacher. Do not overburden your student with homework, and homework. You're making them to hate the knowledge. You are a wife. Don't overburden your husband. I want this, I want this, I want this. He cannot afford it. Then you're telling the man to go and steal and corrupt. So don't overburden people with something they cannot do. The last part of the hadith is very important. The Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, وَإِن كَلَفْتُمُوهُمْ, but if you do give them a task, فَأَيْنُوهُمْ, then you have to help them. Right? But if I speak now, some of you will start referring to me. Why I refer to these things, this is very important. Some of us men, once we are watching football, we don't want to do anything again in the house. But sometimes, if you want pepper soup, for example, you want something from your family, help them do it. If they're going to cook it, you can buy the stuff and bring it home. Share the responsibilities. If someone is dropping the children to school, someone else can pick them from school. If someone is dropping the children to madrasa, someone else can pick them from madrasa. This is what the extension of the hadith means. فَلَا تُكَلِّفُوهُمْ مِنَ الْعَمَلِ مَا لَا يُطِيقُونَ, do not overburden them with a work or a service or a task that they cannot do. وَإِن, but if you do it, if you do tell them to do it, فَأَيْنُوهُمْ, help them. So my brothers and my sisters, this is one part of the good character that our Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had. And this is what he taught the Sahaba, Ridwanullahi alayhim. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala please with it. And this is the knowledge that has trickled down to us. And so we are extending it. We are sharing it so that we can learn from this. You are a boss because Allah has made you a boss for a particular period of time. So therefore, look at the people underneath your command, underneath your control with mercy, and make life easy for them. And if you are paying yourself £2,000, £3,000, £4,000, good wages, make sure they can afford to eat the kind of food that you would eat. If you can wear Gucci and Michael Kors and other designers, make sure they can afford it as well from the work that they do. Don't make them beggars. But if you're going to give them a task, give them a task that is within their limited capability. May Allah make it easy for us. May Allah give us a Jannah. May Allah accept all our prayers. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. أقم الصلاة فإن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا ولذكر الله أكبر والله أعلم.